Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and yesterday you really enjoyed the Kunkka video. Like, a lot of people were commenting, a lot of people really seemed to enjoy the content, and there was one comment that said I should make a BREWMASTER video. And I definitely agree, because BREWMASTER is one of my most played heroes right now. I've won, I think, 9 out of my last 11 matches, 81% win rate. And so yeah, I really believe in this hero. I don't think it's like broken in the current meta. I think the biggest upside is that Radiance is really good, and Manta is really good. And these are the two items that Brew buys first in most games, right? So I think the items definitely suit BREWMASTER. I don't think the hero received any buffs that I know of. In fact, it's been a primarily nerfed hero as of late. But conceptually and its items, it's OP. So I'm gonna explain to you how I see the hero, how I view the hero, and everything I've learned as of late. Also, I just went on another tear, so I'm 11,450, which is rank 126 in Europe. Really trying to make my way to that top 100, hopefully 12K soon. And yeah. And before we get into this BREWMASTER video, I do just want to say, don't forget to check out the Game League website. The reason why is I'm making videos there almost daily, like literally almost daily. And I just made a video where I did a full live game analysis. Like, I was just watching the game, giving every single thought I had on how you can improve, how you can be better in a game between Nouns versus Beast Coast, right? Two of the top teams right now, or well, not in Europe, but you get the point. I'm just making a lot of content over there on various heroes, various games, draft analysis, match analysis, hero guides, hero builds, so on and so on. And so yeah, check it out down below. Click the link down below now, and I'll see you guys there. In the laning stage, couple things to note. I almost always take Cinderbrew at level 1. The only exception is if you're laning with Terrorblade, which I am. So you might be saying, why do you have it then? Right? Shouldn't you have Thunderclap? Yes, but I learned this game that Reflection does not proc Cinderbrew. Cinderbrew says it will ignite once they take any spell damage. How in the world is damage from Reflection, which is a spell, not spell damage? The world may never know. I can't explain it, but it doesn't work. And so I wish I did not have it, because I can't proc it unless he throws a blood grenade at them, which he's not going to do that. so I should have taken my Q or even my E, just so I had a spell to lane, but it is what it is. We learn. And essentially all I look to do, depending on the hero I'm laning with, if I'm with Batrider, I look for any opportunity to just chuck it on both of the heroes, and he can flame break, and then it procs on both of them, and it will deal like 150 damage, right, total, with his spell and my spell, and that's pretty good. Because the big upside here with Cinderbrew is it's only 50 mana, right? It's 50 mana, it does 80 damage, which is okay, and it slows, right? So the main upside to it, in my experience, is you chuck it on the enemy position 5. I didn't get to do that this lane because I quickly realized it didn't synergize with Reflection, but you chuck it on the enemy position 5, it will slow them for a pretty significant 24%, and then they will take a ton of damage trying to run away from your position 4, who now has a big advantage due to the fact that you helped them. This is pretty funny. Watch this guy. Top 100 player. No! Oh my god. Dude, I haven't lasted. I don't think I get any of these. Dude, I remember, I'm telling you, you won't believe me now, but I'm really good at last hitting, like, I assure you. At least for an offlaner. Like, mid laners are a different breed, but for an offlaner, I'm pretty damn good. That was the worst I've ever done in my life. I couldn't believe it. All right, whatever. Let's move on. So in terms of skill build, there's a lot of routes you can go. Most matchups you take your E at level 2, and the reason why is you click Cinderbrew, and then the Cinderbrew amps whatever E you're on. Now, there's a lot to talk about with Drunken Brawler. I'll basic cover it later on into the video, but essentially in the laning stage, there's two main stances you're going to use. Storm Brawler and Fire Brawler, right? The Storm Brawler gives it evasion and movement speed, and the Fire Brawler gives you a chance to crit and attack speed. But in this lane, I decided to take neither, and I had this simple concept of I'm going to take both my nukes. Also, Cinderbrew scales incredibly well. It barely goes up in mana cost, and it doubles in damage, so it's really nice. And I thought, okay, if I use it on her and the illusions, it would basically kill the illusions and do a lot of damage to the Naga, right? So, and it was true, right? It really does do quite a number to the illusions. It didn't exactly kill them, but it came close, and it allowed me to apply a lot of pressure here, right? We nearly killed the Naga off of that go. In terms of starting items, you always go 2 circlets, 3 branches and tangos. That's basically every game, and get, unless you're against Nature's Prophet, then you buy a Quelling. And then, yeah, I mean, I bought a wand this game. Usually you buy Bracer or Bracer Urn. I bought a wand this game just because I thought this guy would spam Shadow Poison, and Naga also might net me in Mirror Image, so it just felt like a good lane to have a wand. On top of that, I had the concept that I was going to take Nuke and so I felt I would need the extra mana, so the wand definitely paid off due to the fact that I was going nuke nuke. If you only go WE, you really don't need a wand early on, and you should have bracers so you can maximize the fire brawler damage, right? You do not need an early wand, but due to my playstyle, this game's a bit unique in that regard. I would not go this build most games. And then at level 3, most people take Q. I think you can take W again, it just depends. Okay, so there's 2 different builds you can go on Brewmaster in terms of skill build. I think in terms of item build, there are 2 different builds, so there's Radiance Rush, and then there's Vessel. I think Radiance is just way better. Vessel, honestly, there is a case for Vessel. The reason why, it makes you stupid tanky, and allows you to solo kill heroes like Timbersaw, for instance, in the early game, or like Sven. Right, these very high HP heroes, it's super good at helping you kill them, because it procs the W. So like, instead of having to W them and then run up and Q, which is like unreliable, you can just W earn, it will slow them, and that sets up for your ult. It will let you close the gap with your ult. And so the Vessel, it does a ton of damage, and it like really enables the W, which is why casual earn is also good, and it's something I've been thinking a lot about, right? Just casual earn as an item gives you some armor which you lack, gives you mana regen, and then gives you the W proc, and you don't have to upgrade it into Vessel. It can just be casual, right? But okay, the main thing about Brew, it's very simple. Playing this hero is simple, guys. All you're thinking about at this point is using the insanely high damage you have, right, with like all these stats, because you're universal, to just deny creeps and sit in the lane. Like, all I'm thinking about is griefing the enemy carry and sitting in my lane, because this is how you're gonna get super farm, and due to the nature of your hero, you're very hard to kick out. If I get ganked, I can split. If I get ganked, I can go on Earth Brawler, I can stay on Storm Brawler. It's gonna amp the evasion when I click W, I have a wand, you know, like, I'm not gonna die, right? It's very hard to gank Brew, and so the main way you can be a menace is kind of like a life stealer, right? Or a jug, or a morphling, where they just sit in the lane and you can't kill them, and they just try to deny creeps and grief whoever is across from them. And then the nice thing as well is you present so much kill threat. Like this guy, we had a ward on him, he didn't know. I literally just walked up. The Storm one, if you're good with it, it deals damage to summons. That includes illusions. So you can just one-shot her illusions, and I'm like, okay, I know which one's real. Hello! Then from there, the execution and killing is simple theoretically. It's hard mechanically. I've got it down at this point. But basically, you hurl a boulder, which stuns. Then you click your E. The only optimization here is it does bonus damage, and you can proc it twice. If you click E while you auto-attack them, it can proc once while you're fading into the invis, and then again when you're fading out of the invis. And it's actually a big deal, because this is where most of your damage comes from during the split. 140 bonus damage is like insane in the early game. So you have to click this almost as much as you can, which I should again here. Yep, there you go. Boom, I was a little slow, but you get the point, right? And we easily solo kill the Naga. And then from there, yeah, I'm just sitting in my lane. Like literally, I'm just gonna sit in my lane, make sure I have a side pull, and just over and over again, side pull, farm the side pull, push in the wave, keep the wave back if I feel threatened. If I have no ulti, I'll be a bit more passive. Like, I'm keeping the lane back here because I have no ulti. Like, I could get ganked with no ulti. It's unlikely, but that's always how I'm thinking. If I have ult, you can kind of play like a psycho, and if they try to kill you, you can usually just turn on them. Like, most of the time, you just click your W, click ult, and you'll get a kill, even 2v1. But yeah, over and over again, like, it's just stupid simple. Like, I'm not even worried about taking the tower. I will soon, but my goal is to hit Radiance, because this hero on Radiance is obscenely broken. Like, it is the best Radiance hero in the game, easily. There's no one better. No one better. And I'll show you why when the time comes. It's just not even close. This hero abuses Radiance like no other. So yeah, another tactic, just drag waves to the camps. Just really efficient. Another thing as well, this is the farming tactic. So when you use your W, it gives you Drunken Brawler, which gives you 2.5% bonuses on the bonuses you get from Drunken Brawler, which when you're farming is going to be on Fire Brawler. So when you do that, you get like a good amount of time. And keep in mind, you refresh this time when you proc the Cinder Brew, right? So you want to wait almost as long as you can, right? You want to use the Fire Brew for about 4 seconds, and then on 4.5 seconds, Thunderclap, and you get another 5 seconds of Brewed Up, which is the bonus form, right? And that's very important for farming, especially if you max E. I max W. I like maxing W. I just tried the max E build because 33 goes that build. He goes max E every game that I've seen him play, and it felt good. I think honestly either are fine. I kind of like max W because it brings it to a 13-second cooldown. It's like super low and it lets you fight, right? So I've been going back and forth what I think is better. I'm not exactly sure, but either feels good. Okay, from there, we're close to our Radiance, so we're just farming it up. I am thinking about TPing, like, this hero is very good at TPing in and killing people, because the W is gap close, you have high movement speed. Also when you're, yeah, and I do that here, right? So they're diving, I'm very close to Radiance, but I'm like, yeah, they're kind of overextending, I'll TP in and get a kill. I end up going a little bit too far here. Like, I should just be happy with the tiny kill, be like, all right, got my tiny kill, but I was like, I'll go a little crazy, which was stupid. I almost died because of this. But we sit on our Earth stance, and this is why Brew can be insane. Like, in the early game, I wish I had my Radiance, because you'd really see why he's insane. But, like, when I click W on the Earth stance, which is what I use here, because evasion is bad, it's not going to do anything. The reduced stun, not really going to do anything here. Fire Brawler is an offensive stance, and so maybe Storm Brawler is okay for the movement speed, but I decided to just go Drunken Brawler. It technically does nothing against Timber, but it's good against, like, the Rubik, right? When he splits, all of this physical and magical that Split does, I gave him Split, not good. Just does nothing because I have 64% magic resist and 60 physical resist when brewed up, right? So I take like no damage when running away there. That is the nice thing about Brew, right? And here, I'm like, oh shit, the Shadow Poison's gonna proc. But as long as I do my W, if he procs it during that, I'll take like no damage. I don't think it ended up mattering. Yeah, it didn't. But yeah, you get the point. Okay, so now why is Radiance so broken? It's broken for two reasons. It's broken because your hero stays alive for forever. It's broken because it works during your ulti, and it's broken because it procs your W. And so it's obscenely good for farming because then you don't have to waste the mana for Q every time you want to proc your W. So it does literally everything for this hero. It also means that during your E, you have like 8,000 evasion. Okay, 44%, and that's not brewed up. And that also doesn't count that Radiance makes people miss 15% of attacks, right? Radiance does two things. It gives you base evasion, like it gives your hero evasion, and then it just makes people naturally miss 15% of the time, which helps your teammates, right? 20% is only for you, 15% is for everyone. So, okay, there's a couple things I think I might change. At this point in time, I was going phase boots every single game. 33, what he does, he plays Brew, he's the other main Brew. Besides, of course, me, I'm number one, he's number two. What he does is almost every game that I've seen, I think he did a little bit of variation, like he went Yasha first one game before bots, but he goes bots Shard. And the Shard, why is the Shard good? Well, the Shard does two things. It increases the split by 12 seconds, which is super long. And on top of that, you can cancel it early. So if like they have a Sven who's killing your shit, you can cancel it and not die. And it is really good. But okay, now here's why this hero becomes insane at some point in the game. When you get Radiance with your ult, you just like, not only are you obscenely tanky if you're on the Earth Brawler stance, but you just do so much damage from existing. I make the good call here to instantly split. The reason why, you can TP out from Brew unless he splits. And so if you split, obviously you have multiple TP cancels with the Tornado. In terms of execution here, I could have been better. I let him get his chain away. Thankfully, I didn't let him get the second one, but I let him get the chain away. But yeah, I mean, the Radiance works during the ult, and it just does some crazy amount of damage. The main reason why I like this hero, and the reason why I buy Phase Boots, and Phase Boots Manta just feels insane, so does bots, but Phase Boots Manta just feels great, is because of the fact that you just get places so fast, right? Every time I'm done farming a wave, which you'll see, I just put the W down, it procs with the Radiance. The only downside is it instantly uses up both of your, like, brewed up, right? If you like W and then the Radiance procs it, you don't really get to extend the brewed up, but it's whatever, it's a trade-off. But yeah, once you farm a wave, you go back to your Storm Brawler so you can run from camp to camp, or so you can run to your team if you want to connect for a fight. And that's like the main thing I love. A big thing for me, guys, you know I've been talking about movement speed. Brew's the king of this, right? Outside of heroes like Dawnbreaker, right? Or something like that. Brew's the king. Because I'm near haste, right? When I'm brewed up on win form, I'm near haste, right? You'll probably see it shortly here. I'm haste. And that's huge. Obviously, I have to be phase booted and brewed up. But even when I'm not, right? Even when I'm not, I'm like 400 MS or something like that. 432. I'm 432 MS during the night. During the day, I'm a bit slower. Then with phase boots, I'm just naturally 510. And it's massive because it just lets you play Dota in a very explosive, efficient way, right? A very, very explosive, efficient way. So like, I'm farming up bottom here. I push out the wave. I see a fight break out mid, so I can be very efficient. I see a fight break out mid. Easy peasy, I'm gonna show up. right? I show up. I should probably be on my Earth Brawler stance. It's the most reliable, right? If you're afraid of dying, you should be on Earth Brawler. In terms of switching between the stances, there are things like fire to I know fire to storm is 3. That one I'm really good at. Like you kill the wave on fire and then you click it 3 times. If you're on fire and you think you're going to get chain stunned, you click it once. I know that. If you're on storm and you want to live, you can click it 3 times for earth. You just got to get used to it and play a shit ton. Like this hero, it's very hard. You got to know all the buttons for the E. You got to know all the buttons for the ult. But once you do that, like, yeah, you're obscenely tanky and you just get in the way. Like, and you do it all so fast. Like fight ends, boom, I'm back on my win stance. Stack this camp, instantly kill the stack. Nuke out this wave, and this is why bots are good, why 33 loves bots, because the hero can be so efficient around the map where you want to be able to connect. Like, it's so good at just naturally killing neutrals, and so you can just bots around, right? Kill the neutrals, bots around. In terms of talents, at level, I think at level 11, yeah, at level 11, not at level 10, but at level 11, you take Brewling's damage. 33 sometimes doesn't. I don't get it. Because he buys shard every game too instantly. I don't get it. I find it to be quite a good talent. At level 15, I like Cinderbrew damage and duration because you can kill waves without hitting them. Like if you need to not show or something like that. It also just lets you be brewed up for longer, which is nice. But the other one, it is 1 times more brewed up. It is strong. Like I tried it in my last game. I'm like, yeah, I could see why this is the more taken talent. So I'm going back and forth between these two. I guess the left is what most people take, so sure, go with that, guys. But they're both good. They're honestly both strong talents. But yeah, you can see I'm just farming up like a madman. You know, I'm keeping up with my Luna. I'm keeping up with an Invoker who's 8-0 with a Midas. You know, farming Ancients too, right? Like, I'm keeping up. And then once my ult comes back up, because what I try to do is like when my ult is down, I'm chilling, I'm farming up like crazy. And then when my ult is back up, I'm thinking about fighting, right? I'm looking to connect. Now in this game, they had a Naga, she had Orchid, so my main thing is like, if I can get to Manta, I can frontline. And a lot of the time, so people in the comments asked, there was multiple people who asked, why don't you rush a shard? And I rushed a shard in the last game I played, and it feels great. Like, definitely rush a shard if you're looking to fight super constantly. It is the best fighting item you can buy early on, hands down. However, this game, I sense the game might slow down a bit. I mean, also I play slow, so it's somewhat of a decision. And I knew if I got to Manta, I can't really die. And so it's like a frontlining thing. The Manta allows me to be a complete psycho in the team fights, right? Because as long as I can dispel Orchid, it's highly unlikely they'll burst me. I mean, it's possible. They do have the heroes to do it, but it's, you know, it would require perfect synergy. That's unlikely, you know? So the Manta lets me play like a psycho. It also lets me farm. I think here I definitely should buy the shard. I was in this mindset that I was going to play this hero as a right clicker. And for a while, what I was doing is I was buying Blink BKB after Manta. And it does feel good. Basically, you blink BKB and you click the heck out of people. You know, I have 280 damage. And when I'm brewed up, I have like 1 billion attack speed and I crit. Right? This hero can right click, especially when you have BKB. So that was my angle for a while. It's like, oh, I don't have to rely on my ult. I don't have to rely on the cooldown. You know what I mean? I'm not cooldown bound. And it feels good. Like, it is a way to play the game. I do think that this build, like, going the Manta Octarima Shard is a bit more reliable. Because it scales well. Like, it just naturally scales. It lets you split push like crazy. You get more Ws, which just keeps you brewed up constantly. So, there's an angle. Like, in this team fight, if I had Shard, for instance, in this fight, that's not like, I'm just fighting and connecting everything. I could have just instantly ultied. But, like, I'm in the mindset of, I'm strong in my regular form. Like a lot of people are like, Brewmaster, you click ult, right? I don't really see the hero necessarily like that way. Like, I'm beating this guy, I'm beating his booty. This Naga had the song to save his so I'm zoning them out just with my hero. And then I kind of use my ult to bail myself out if I need it, or if I need to like stun someone, right? But the problem is the ulti is really broken. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty damn broken. Once you get to level 12, your Brewlings become a lot tankier. I'd say that's a big thing. Especially the Earth one gets a way more health, so level 12 really helps. But then you buy the shard and it just lasts forever, so. But okay, at this point with the Manta, anytime I think a fight isn't gonna happen, by the way, this item's really good, the Vampire Fangs, because you get spell lifesteal from like W and Radiance, and you get lifesteal just because you naturally auto attack for 300, which is crazy. But yeah, just manting up waves, getting farmed. Once again, this hero You can scale like crazy. Every time a fight ends, I'm just farming neutrals. You know what I mean? I'm really good about this. It's something that has helped me gain a ton of MMR. I'm super efficient in between fights, right? Once the fight is over and I'm confident my team is chilling, I'm very quick to get out on the map, cut waves, and kill neutrals. You know, I have very little downtime, and it helps me hit pretty nasty timings, even as an offlaner, right? I constantly have like close to top of CS as an offlaner. I'm behind a Naga and a Luna. What can you do? Naga Luna, what can you do? You know, I can't. It's Naga Luna. It is what it is. But yeah, in this team fight, like once again, this is where it'd be good to have Shard because I could just click my ult and siege. Like I kind of end up doing that anyway. This part's really important. I messed it up here. So when you split, the most broken part of split, in my opinion, is actually the purple one. Like people don't realize when you get this level 18, it pulls people 700 units. You just pull people completely out of position. Like I meant to do it here, I just clearly missed my crowd. I was focused on this guy, which, you know, is fair. Like lifting timber, sure, it's good. But like, you'll see the pull because I messed it up here. Oh, like I would have pulled him to here. I mean, it's just insane. And you do that obviously primarily to supports, but like even heroes that are frontlining, like let's say someone's defending the tower, you just pull them into your team and it makes the fight really easy. Everyone can stay safe. So ended up using my ult, didn't have Shard, which is kind of stupid. I hope I bought it. I think the game ended up ending. Like I definitely ended up undervaluing it. Did I buy AC before Shard? That's pretty crazy if I did that. As you can see, I had a mentality. It's like, I'm going to stay in my... And it's not terrible. Like, I won... Most of my games, I've played like this. And it feels pretty damn good, right? Where you're in your normal form and you're just frontlining with Earth stance or Wind stance, right? Until you get on top of someone, then you switch to fire. This clip was sick. I actually bodied this Naga. So I split early because I knew she was going to song. Look at this. Look. This was off the dome. I'm like, I'm going to body block him. Who knew you could do it? The Earth one has immunity, spell immunity. So it's a Naga counter actually, because she can't song TP against Brew if he splits. I body blocked her and she's like, shh, give me the tip. I did cook her there, no cat. I cooked her up. But alright, speed Dota with no Shard. Wrapping up the match, just good mechanics, insane radiance timing. Are the main things that have really just paid off, right? Just because I focus on these side pulls and stacking the side camp so much and so efficiently, I'm reliably getting like if I show you the page, my radiance timings are like obscenely consistent. Of course, I'll have a bad game sometimes. Like I had a bad game here. I tried 2 games where I bought phase boots before radiance. My theory was like, I'm gonna play it really fast and like I'm gonna connect the fights and shit. And, you know, there's logic, because you run really fast. It's good. It lets you fight, but it just delays the radiance. But every game where I don't do that, I guess I did it again here. I lost this game, though. But 15-minute radiance, 15, 15, 15, 14, 17, 16, 12? Oh, yeah, I got a 12. This game was insane. I got a 12-minute radiance. You know that's when the game is wraps. That is when the game is GG. But all right, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you learned a lot. The only thing I feel like I didn't fully touch on, I mean, in team fights, like, just throw the rock. Like, your priority is throw the rock. Basically, you kite out with the win one. You run it off to the side. You try to lift someone. If there's things to dispel, you dispel. Like, it's a lot. And then basically the order I do it in, which is easy, Pro Boulder, Tornado, and then I pull someone. And you can save teammates with the purple guide too, but I primarily pull offensively. And that's my order. And then they just auto attack. They have auto attack on, so they just auto attack. Except the win one. I keep the win one invis on the outside, and I almost strictly use it to just toss people in the air over and over and over again. Like literally, I just toss them in the air, toss them in the air, toss them in the air, over and over and over and over again. You want to keep this one alive. It's the lowest HP, has no spell immunity. It's the one people will focus, especially at high MMR. And then yeah, if you're frontlining, you stay on the green one. Some people will go on the purple one. Purple one's fine. I just think the green one is a bit more reliable. But okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned quite a bit about BREWMASTER. Very hard hero, but you just got to get some of the switching things down, and you can be good. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.